What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as Wrestlelamia gives you the scoop on the latest and greatest in professional wrestling, including which WWE superstar told Vince McMahon he's a failure to his face, a fan pays Alexa Bliss $400 to ask her out on a date, a former WWE superstar makes an anti-mask promo, Rhea Ripley's new look, Rusev is now a pro gamer, two former WWE superstars make their AEW Dynamite debut. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Who told Vince McMahon you failed as a leader to his face? Now, an incredible story has emerged about a former WWE superstar who wasn't afraid to share his blunt opinion about Vince McMahon's shortcomings, and even more incredible, to say it right to his face. Recently released WWE superstar Eric Young spoke with Chris Van Vliet on his YouTube channel about a conversation he had with the WWE chairman. He mentioned, if you have a 3-hour television show, pro wrestling television show, and you can't find something for me to do, then you are failing as a leader. Plain and simple. You failed your company, you failed the shareholders, you failed the fans, and you failed yourself. Eric Young was released along with many other wrestlers on 15th April and is now working in Impact Wrestling. McMahon has had to deal with a number of failures of late, including a drop in WWE stock prices, shareholder lawsuits, record low ratings, as well as the WWE's controversial handling of coronavirus countermeasures. Considering McMahon's well-documented micromanaging of WWE, it's difficult to argue with Young's opinion of why the WWE has sunk so low. Has McMahon failed? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Rusev is done with wrestling and is now a pro gamer. Speaking of released wrestlers, what's going on with Miroslav Barniashev, who worked in the WWE as Rusev? Ringside News' Steve Carrier had an interesting report about the former Bulgarian Brute. While listening to Rusev's Twitch stream today, he was asked if he was returning to WWE and he responded, "I'm done. I'm a professional Twitcher now." Miro has been having a very fun time on Twitch gaming, but as any experienced wrestling fan knows, never take a wrestler's comments at face value. Fans could see Miro turned up in the squared circle at any moment, as history has shown the irresistible call of the ring for most performers. Next up, Rhea Ripley's new look. Like many of us, NXT superstar Rhea Ripley has had one wild year, but the former NXT Women's Champion is blazing ahead, giving herself a makeover as she charts her latest journey on the black and gold brand. Ripley showed off her new blonde hair via Instagram, posting a picture of herself as well as her boyfriend Dimitri Action Jackson. The Australian native has excelled since her WWE debut in 2017, where she competed at the inaugural Mae Young Classic. And revitalized look or not, she should have a great career ahead of her. Next up, a fan pays Alexa Bliss $400 to ask her out on a date. What happens when a wrestling fan decides to drop $400 to ask WWE superstar Alexa Bliss out on a date? You may recall that Bliss is one of several WWE superstars who are picking up some extra cash by making video messages on Cameo, a service that allows fans a chance to interact with their favorite celebrities, but of course for a price. For example, Roman Reigns has been making videos on Cameo for $500 a pop, while Alexa Bliss has been doing it for a little bit less at $400. In the case of the fan who dropped $4 to ask Bliss out, he got the following reply.
Hi Antonio, first I just wanted to say thank you so much for your message. That was so sweet of you to write me. I'm extremely flattered with your request, but unfortunately I am seeing someone, but I know that there's someone out there for you. I know it's a little hard right now with everything going on with COVID and having to stay inside, so I hope you are staying inside, staying healthy and happy, but I know once everything clears up, you got to get out there, just get out there, meet someone, and someone will show you what it means to be loved, show you that you deserve all the happiness in the world and be treated the best way possible. And I know that someone is out there for you. Just got to keep looking. Just like Dory says, just keep swimming. Bye, Antonio.
Do you think Bliss should have accepted $400 for telling someone she's taken? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a former WWE wrestler says, "Don't wear masks." Now, you may not remember former WWE superstar Tyler Rex, as he's been out of the public eye, but he returned with a social media tantrum, going off on people who wear face masks in public, then excusing those who chose to do so. According to a report at Ringside News, the former WWE superstar was in Texas, where he challenged everyone to go to their local stores without a mask on. He also told them that they should document the event. He uploaded a video of himself in a store without a mask on. Here's the video.
You guys are just jumping on. I literally walked in the front door. They asked me if I wanted a mask. I shook my head no, kept walking. Nothing. Don't be sheep. And at the same time, I'm trying to be respectful. I don't want to make anybody feel bad. So I'm trying to kind of keep the audio to a minimum here. Because everybody's got a choice, man. This is all our, it's our choices. What do we want to do? I'm not going to make fun of anybody for wearing a mask. If that's what they feel makes them comfortable. But I'm not going to do it. And I challenge you guys to do the same thing. What if everybody posted a video like this today? Imagine what would happen. All right, I'm going to finish shopping. Catch up with you guys later.
At the same time, Rex says that he doesn't want to make mask wearers feel bad about themselves, but then proceeds to say that we're all sheeps. I'll keep my mask opinions to myself, but I'd like to ask you guys in the comments down below, is he right? Next up, a wild rumor is WWE is running SummerSlam with fans. Take this wild rumor with a healthy dose of skepticism, but right now there's talk that Vince McMahon is planning on running SummerSlam with fans present. According to WrestleVotes, WWE has looked into hosting SummerSlam within the Northeast at an outdoor location with limited fans, and as of now, have found no interested states in allowing that to happen. You may recall in an earlier video that rumors were floating, no pun intended, about the WWE running its biggest party of the summer abroad on a boat or even on a beach. Wrestling News reports, McMahon has gotten tired of the way shows look at the PC. One idea that has been floated is to run shows on top of WWE headquarters. Ringside News has also discussed how they've been looking into a location besides the Performance Center for some time. WWE looked at SummerSlam locations and Rhode Island was one place, New Hampshire was the other. A member of the creative team close to the situation informed us the search was preliminary to just check legalities. The company never even applied. This also took place over a month ago. However, AJ Styles is skeptical about a show outside the Performance Center, discussing on his Twitch stream, "I have no idea what's going on with SummerSlam, or where it's gonna be, if it's going to be at the Performance Center, or if we're actually going to get to do this. If I'm a betting man, I bet we don't do anything until 2021 outside the Performance Center. I could be wrong, I hope I'm wrong, but just based on everything and how everything is going on, it would surprise me if we did." Vince McMahon gets tired about a number of things, and his habit of changing his mind in the blink of an eye could make for a wild location for SummerSlam. Unfortunately for McMahon, the pandemic could change his plans even faster. Next up, whilst we're on the subject of SummerSlam, there's a possible big match rumored. Now, although SummerSlam's location is tentative, fans know the show will be taking place in one form or another, with WWE Champion Drew McIntyre vs Randy Orton already penciled in as one of the show's biggest matches. Another potential bout could involve Rey Mysterio. Appearing on the Dropkick Discussions podcast, Tom Colohue noted, "The Mysterios vs Rollins and Murphy feud is really up in the air at the minute. It is currently on the SummerSlam agenda to have Rey and Dominic Mysterio against Seth Rollins and Murphy. However, that really depends on if Rey Mysterio signs a new deal. It's also possible that we could see Dominic Mysterio vs Seth Rollins in a singles match, but that would be done as a way to convince Rey Mysterio by saying that here, we are pushing your son." What do you guys think of a Mysterio vs Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins match at SummerSlam? Should it be a tag match, or should the WWE take the risk and have Dominic in singles action on his debut? Next up, two former WWE stars debut on Dynamite. Two former WWE superstars debuted on last night's episode of AEW Dynamite, adding to the growing number of recently released performers who have found work now that their no-compete clause is over. If you didn't manage to catch last night's episode of Dynamite, you missed out on the debut of Matt Cardona, aka former WWE superstar Zack Ryder. He ran in to save Cody Rhodes from an attack by the Dark Order. He looked in terrific shape and was fired up on his debut. In addition to Cardona, former WWE star Cameron debuted, aligning herself with Vicky Guerrero and Nyla Rose. Cameron, who worked as one half of Brodus Clay's Funkadactyls before becoming a wrestler, will team up with Rose in the AEW's upcoming Women's Tag Team title tournament. And finally, Cody talks 2 potential AEW signings. Cody Rhodes is a busy man, not only as a wrestler, but as one of AEW's executive vice presidents. During a recent chat with ESPN, Cody discussed 2 potential signings in AEW, beginning with Rey Mysterio. To me, the greatest luchador ever of all time, hands down, is Rey Mysterio Jr., and he's got friends here. Jericho and him are friends. Mysterio is not afraid to travel out there either. He is not a one-company individual, and I think Rey still has a lot left to give in terms of wrestling. That might be something that someone else is currently discussing with him at this point. You never know. The current TNT champion also brought up former Impact World Champion Tessa Blanchard. I don't know a lot about the current situation with her in Impact. Tully, her father, is in AEW. That's more Kenny Omega, my wife and AEW Chief Brand Officer Brandy Rhodes, and Tony carving out the growing and evolving women's division. I'd have more of a beat on that. She was a part of All In for us, and anyone who is a part of All In has a place in my heart. On a personal level, I always want all the 2nd and 3rd generation wrestlers to have the best experience. She has a lot of talent. I'm sure it's something Kenny, Brandy and Tony have discussed. As noted in previous news videos, rumour has it that Mysterio is close to finalising a deal with the WWE, while Blanchard may already be signed, with the WWE waiting to debut her at SummerSlam or Evolution 2, that is if the all-women's event returns. Regardless, it's always good to present a promotion as ready to sign the wrestling world's hottest free agents. Would you like to see Rey or Tessa in AEW? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive lists, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.